Hello, good evening. So, hello, good evening everyone. I hope I'm audible to online people also.
Good evening, sir. Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much. So, basically today we are going to discuss about our government scheme. Name of the scheme is PM Vishwakarma scheme. So, we are going to discuss about what is the purpose of this particular scheme. We are going to discuss about who are the eligible beneficiaries of this scheme. We are going to discuss about, let's say, how does it serve the social justice purpose, the purpose of social justice. So, a lot of things we are going to discuss. However, it's going to be a very short topic. So, today the discussion may be a little shorter as compared to other days, right? So, when we talk about the PM Vishwakarma scheme, so this scheme has been launched by the Prime Minister of India recently, okay? So, this scheme has been launched by the Prime Minister of India in the month of September, on 13th of September 2023. So, they have launched it. So, this scheme has been launched by the Prime Minister just before the election year. Means like, they are going to have a general election now, and generally it has been seen as a trend that before every general election, before, let's say, different states go into election mode, the outgoing government or the government that is in power basically, so they generally launch certain kind of schemes that benefit larger masses. So it does have, let's say, positive aspects also, little negative aspects maybe. Positive aspect is that it is the positive part of the elections, in the sense that, they announce those schemes that are going to benefit the larger masses, the larger population of the country. So when we discuss about the PM Vishwakarma scheme, so this is a scheme which are meant for few number of, let's say, people who are involved in manual work. So they are people who are artisan class people who are involved in, let's say, manual work, and these people are generally those who are self-employed, okay, those people who are working in as a self-employed person, right, maybe in family business, right, so they are doing the work themselves, they are not engaged in, let's say, salaried work, right, they are not part of formal economy also, so they are working in informal economy. So these people are generally not covered in other government schemes, right, when it comes to credit, when it comes to financial things. Although there are many existing government schemes that are in place to benefit, let's say, people who are from similar backgrounds. So this particular scheme is meant for artisans, right? It is meant for artisans. Artisans does not only mean who are making the potteries. So they have categorized 18 professions, 18 different professions, right? 18 different professions, and people who are working in these professions, they will be considered as eligible beneficiaries. They will be considered as eligible beneficiaries. However, this is not the only eligibility. There are multiple eligibility criteria as part of this scheme. So PM Vishwakarma scheme, if I talk about, let's say in brief, what this scheme stands for. It's a skill training scheme. Means like through this scheme, the government of India wants to give skill training to those people who are involved in certain let's say informal sectors of the economy. They are self-employed people. So they have identified 18 different professions, and these people will be skilled. Skilled in a sense that, like, if these people participate in skill training, they will be incentivized for participating also in skill training. Means like they will not be charged, they will not be asked to give money to get the training. So if they attend training, so they will be getting money for attending training. This is one part. Apart from this, they will be given certificates by the government. Skill certificates will be provided where their name will be mentioned, their profession will be mentioned, and using those certificates, these people can also avail some kind of government loans. So we are going to discuss about the eligibility criteria of these people in detail. Then we are going to discuss about how much government loans they can get. We are also going to discuss about the kind of certificates that they are going to get. Okay, so this is all about the PM Vishwakarma scheme. Okay, it has been launched by the Prime Minister of India on 13th of November itself. Okay, so in this article, basically we have included, right, we have included the details of the professions that the government of India considers, right, as part of beneficiaries of PM Vishwakarma scheme. In this particular, let's say, like, so which professions are being covered? So I'm not going to write all of them, but like I'm going to, let's say, read it for you. The professions that are considered to be eligible for this particular scheme. Okay, so not everyone is eligible, but people who are belonging to 18 different, let's say, 18 different professions. And one of the important aspect of these professions is that the people should be working by their hand, right, and tools. People who are working by their hand and tools, this is one condition. Second condition is they should be self-employed. They should be self-employed. They can be in their family business also. Okay, they can be in their family business. I mean, there is a family who is, let's say, making potteries. So most of the members of the family may be involved in pottery making itself. So they will be considered as eligible beneficiaries under this scheme. So which 18 trades have been considered to be, let's say, eligible under this scheme? They are carpenter, right, suthar, or they are also known as badhai in Hindi, right? Carpenter is the English word. Suthar or badhai. Then boat maker, armorer, blacksmith, lohar. Blacksmith means lohar. Then hammer and toolkit maker, a person who is making the hammer, right, or a person who is involved in toolkit making. So they are also eligible beneficiaries under this scheme. Locksmith, a person who makes locks. There can be certain locks that are handmade locks, right? Means like there are locks nowadays that are made in factories, big factories, but there are people who are involved in making locks, right, handmade locks. So they will be considered beneficiaries under this scheme. Then goldsmith or sonar. Then we have potter or kumar. Okay, potter, a person who makes pots, right, kumar. Then a sculptor. It is also known as murtikar or stone carver. Okay, a person who is making murti, a person who is sculptor. Okay, they are known as murtikar. So they will be beneficiaries under this scheme. Then stone breaker, cobbler, right, or shoesmith, footwear artisan, mason, like mason are rajmistri. For example, in building, right, houses, we have laborers who are means working as laborers. So वो ईंट उठाते हैं, अलग-अलग काम करते हैं. Let's say they are doing cementing also. So they are known as rajmistri. They will be also eligible under this scheme. Then we have basket, mat or broom maker, coir weaver, doll and toy maker, traditional, barber, nai, means like people who are, let's say, like, saloon people, barber. So they are also beneficiaries under this scheme. Then garland maker, malakar, okay, garland, मतलब माला के दुकान होता है, मतलब So this washerman, dhobi, tailor, darji, and fishing net maker. So these are the professions, or these are the trades that are eligible under this scheme. Okay, these are the trades that we have just discussed. What is the objective of this particular scheme? If we talk about, so we have just discussed about, let's say, the trades that are recognized as part of this scheme. Then if we talk about the objectives of this scheme, what are objectives of this scheme? Basically, through this scheme, the government of India wants to give training to the people, right? The government of India want to provide skill training to these people. Now, why skill training is important? Basically, they are skilled in their own craft. They are able to make pots, they are able to make locks, etc. So they are skilled already. But the thing is, government of India is going to give training to them about like how to market their products, how to, let's say, sell that product to a wider audience. Means other kind of training will be provided apart from like what they are actually doing. Whatever they are doing, they are good in their activities, but like marketing related assistance they may be needed, how to get the, let's say, loan or credit, they may be needed, they may be needing those information. So skill training will be provided. As part of skill training, those people who are going to attend these skill training, these people will be given, let's say, like some financial benefits also. Financial benefits for attending the training. Financial benefits will be to the tune of rupees 500 rupees per day. Right, 500 rupees per day will be given to those people who want to attain skill training under this scheme. Second thing is, generally it will be 5 to 7 days duration. The training will be 5 to 7 days duration, or it may range more than 15 days also. It depends. Right. Apart from this, those people who are attending the training, they will be given a certificate. Okay. A certificate of training. Okay, they will be given a certificate of attending the training, and these people will also be given an ID card. Certificate and ID card are different. This ID card is also named. It is like, it is given a specific name. I think it is known as Vishwakarma Sathi. Okay, so over here, like we have mentioned, so this ID card will be known as Vishwakarma Sathi. So these people will get a kind of ID card. So it is going to bring a kind of social cohesion among the people who are going to participate in this skill training. So like, they will also get recognition from the government. As of now, those people who are employed in these businesses, these sectors, although it is a kind of familial business, means like they are involved, their children also learn it, they also do. I have seen a lot of people, I mean, like, who are, let's say, like, nai or saloon people. So like I have interacted with them, I got to know that, like, those people who are working in salon, their father have also been nai, they and like, their great grandfather. So like, it is a kind of family business that they have continued, and they find good in doing the same business. So the thing is, these people will be getting an ID card which is known as Vishwakarma Sathi. So these people will get a recognition from the government that they are doing some good activities. So the training that will be provided as part of this skill training, so the, like, training will be provided in 2 phases. So there will be a phase 1 training, right? There will be a phase 2 training. What? Phase 2 training. The phase 1 training will be the basic training. It will be the basic training as we discussed earlier. So everything that is mentioned over here, this is part of phase 1 training. It is basic training or basic skill training for these people. So after attending the basic training, these people may also, right, seek the benefit, financial benefit. They can go for taking institutional credit. What? They can go for institutional credit. What do we mean by institutional credit? Means they can apply for loans, right? It simply means they can apply for loans. So those people who successfully complete the first phase of the training, right, they will be given certificates and all. They will be getting, let's say, like, during the training period, they'll be getting some money as well. So these people can apply for loans, and initially they can apply for a loan of up to 1 lakh rupees, right, of up to 1 lakh rupees. After they go for advanced training, okay, phase 2, or I would say like, advanced training. Once they go for advanced training, then they can ask for second tranche of loan, okay, second tranche of loan. So this second tranche of loan will be of up to 2 lakh rupees. So in all, a person can get a loan of up to 3 lakh rupees. Initially 1 lakh rupees. After meeting certain advanced eligibility criteria, they can ask for 2 lakh more loan. So in all, they can apply for a loan of up to 3 lakh rupees. Okay. But there are conditions also for applying for loans. Okay. What are the conditionalities associated with the loan? So let me write down this. Okay. What are the conditionalities associated with the loans? Okay. Conditionalities associated with the loans. One thing that the government has mentioned, that these people should not have taken similar loans in the past 5 years from the date of application. Means there are other schemes also that are running as of now. One of the scheme which is known as, let's say, PM EGP. One of the scheme is known as Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program. This is a scheme. Then we have PM Swanidhi. Okay, we have PM Swanidhi scheme. Then we have, let's say, Mudra Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. You might have heard about this earlier. It was very famous. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. So under Mudra Yojana, people can take avail loan up to 5 lakh rupees. So those people who have availed loans under similar schemes like this in the last 5 years, right, in the last 5 years, they will not be eligible to apply for loan over here. They need to wait. After completion of 5 years of their loan, they can apply for this particular scheme. So this scheme has been launched by the Prime Minister of India. This is for two purposes. One is giving skill training to those people. Second is providing institutional credit, providing loans to these people. So this is the thing. Apart from this, so this is one of the objective, which is skill training. Second objective, as we discussed. Okay, we are going to discuss about the objectives. We are discussing about objectives. Right, we are discussing objectives. So we discussed the first objective. The first objective was what? Skill training. Details already mentioned. Second is providing institutional credit, right? Providing or extending institutional credit to these people. Third, right? Third, bringing a kind of social cohesion among people. Okay, to further the objective of social cohesion. Okay, to further the objective of social cohesion. And over here we have mentioned about, let's say, like objectives to promote entrepreneurship by providing financial assistance for setting up, expanding micro, small and medium enterprises. This scheme emphasizes partnership and collaboration among various stakeholders, including government agencies, training institutions, industry associations and NGOs, etc. So these are the objectives of this particular scheme. So what are the benefits, as we discussed earlier? Number one is these people will be getting recognition. Okay, benefits already, let's say, like, as part of introduction we discussed. So we are going to quickly discuss about the benefits, so that, like, if a question comes in prelims, right, you should be able to answer that question specifically related to this. Okay, because, like, it is a newly launched scheme. maybe there is a possibility that one question may come in prelims. So one, like what are the benefits? Number one is recognition of artisan and craftspeople through Vishwakarma certificate and ID card. Okay, number one benefit for the people is their work will be recognized. Okay, recognition through, number one is certificate will be provided, as I discussed earlier. Number two, ID cards will be provided to these people. These are known as Vishwakarma Sathi ID cards. Then skill upgradation. Okay, second thing is skill upgradation. Skill upgradation means, like, since they will be trained, so their skill will be upgraded. 5 to 7 days of training, or maybe up to 15 days of training. It can be more than 15 days of training as well. Then there will be toolkit incentive as well. This is another very important thing. This is toolkit incentive, right? Toolkit incentive for the people. So toolkit means when they go for the training initially, so they will be getting a toolkit that worth up to 15,000 rupees in the form of e-vouchers at the beginning of the basic skill training. Means, like, the moment they start getting the basic skill training, so they'll be getting e-vouchers, and these e-vouchers may value up to rupees 15,000 rupees. Okay, so this is another benefit for these people. Then we have credit support, as I already discussed. Okay, credit support. So credit support will be extended. So one thing is, like, initially after basic training, they can apply for 1 lakh of credit support after the basic training, and once they go for advanced training and all, so they can be given 2 lakh of more credit support that will be there. Okay, so this is another benefit to these people. So they will also be given incentive for digital transaction. Okay, means, like, those people who after taking loan of 1 lakh rupees, and if they are, let's say, like, doing the same business, and if they go for digital transaction, later on the basis of that particular thing, they can apply for 2 lakh of loan. So digital transaction or advanced training can be considered. Either of them can be considered. Then marketing support will be provided. Okay, so fifth thing as we discussed, and sixth will be, they will be provided with marketing support, right? Marketing support means, like, they are good in making their things, but how to market their products, right? So that support will be provided. They will be given incentive for digital transaction. Okay, incentive for digital transaction. Okay, so these are the benefits that will be there to these people. Let us quickly discuss about the eligibility criteria, right? Let us discuss about eligibility criteria in detail for these people, right? Eligibility criteria in detail. Okay, so what will be the eligibility of these people? There are age-related eligibility also. Okay, age-related eligibility means a person who has attained the age of 18 years, at least 18 years age should be there. Any worker or artisan working in unorganized sector on the basis of self-employment with the help of, like this, so they will be things. So any worker means, like, eligible will be any worker, means, like, there is no means, like, gender related things, that only man, only women, like that. So that thing is not there. Any worker, provided they are working in unorganized sector. Okay, they are working in unorganized sector. This is one aspect. Second, they are self-employed. Third, okay, they are working in unorganized, they are self-employed. Second is they are working with tools and their hands. Okay, means they are working with tools and their hand. Okay, so means, like, it should be a manual work that they are doing. So they are working in traditional businesses. Okay, working in 18 trades, means, like, 18 trades have been identified. So that's the thing. and they should be working in traditional, let's say traditional businesses or traditional family enterprises like that. So this is one eligibility criteria. The first eligibility criteria is this. Second eligibility criteria is their age, right? The age of the beneficiary should be greater than or equal to 18 years. Right? This is the thing. This is age related thing. Third thing is any persons. So third eligibility is they means like this is exclusion criteria, I would say. This is exclusion criteria. Exclusion criteria means they should not have availed similar kind of, let's say government loan from any of the government scheme. One of the thing is known as Pradhan Mantri Employment Guarantee, like Employment Generation Program or Employment Guarantee Scheme, or PM Swanidhi. There is another PM Swanidhi or Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. So they should not have availed credit support from any of the existing government schemes in the last 5 years. Okay, in the last 5 years. Okay, from the date of application. However, the statement that is written in third may be little ambiguous. I'll get it updated from, let's say through the team. So that's the thing. So they should not have availed similar credit from any of the existing government schemes in the last 5 years from the date of application.
Already the schemes are like this.
Why the new scheme? Basically, like government of, I told na in the beginning itself, poll year, election year, that's the thing. However, they have clubbed together people from different categories. They have, let's say, made it more clear that these 18 professions will be recognized. That's a good part of this scheme. However, Mudra Yojana is there. Mudra Yojana recognizes all unorganized workers. But Mudra Yojana, I think, does not have any certification program, a skill training thing. So this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma Yojana, it does have skill training thing as well. Earlier also in an ED class, I discussed about that in Noida, right? There is an organization which is located, right? So I discussed about name of that organization. So it is working in the area of skill training to people, right? For small, medium and micro enterprises. Okay, so that is there. That is government. People can get, let's say, trained with no cost or minimal cost. But that involves some kind of cost associated. But in this scheme, government itself is making payment to these people. Okay, means like 500 rupees matters to people who do not have money, means like who have very less money. Many a times it matters to us, many a times. So that's the thing. So it is a good thing because a skill component is associated, monetary benefit is there, certificate is there, ID card is given, means like Vishwakarma Sathi ID card is given. Then they get, let's say, some avenues for asking for loans. So this is a good part, I would say, in that regard. And if we talk about Pradhan Mantri Employment Guarantee Scheme, right? This scheme requires a lot of documentation from person. I have met with a lot of people, so let's say who are graduates also, and when they went to avail loans under this, they fall short of one document, other document, this thing. They need, let's say, business proposal. Business proposal means you need to write down about business plan, you need to talk about financial statements. I mean, that becomes so tedious for people who are less educated. And so if we talk about these people who are these 18 trades who are working, they don't know how to make a business plan and all. For them, it will not be, let's say, feasible. So skill may be beneficial for these people, right? Skill training. So we have discussed about 3 criteria. Fourth eligibility criteria. Only one member of a family can avail the benefit of the PM Vishwakarma scheme. This includes husband, wife and unmarried children. So when we talk about here, only one person from our family, or in bracket I am writing household, can get benefit under this scheme. This is not a very good thing, because let's say there is a family, it has 6 members, husband, wife, maybe they have their father, mother, they have 2 kids as well. So 6 members. Out of those 6 members, only one person will be able to get the benefit of this Pradhan Mantri, Vishwakarma scheme. So there are exclusions that is there. Okay, only one person getting, let's say, training. The same person may be able to get the loan or may not be able to get the loan. Many a times these people do not have all their documents in place. They may be having Aadhaar card, but the name on the Aadhaar card may not match with other identity documents, with bank account details like that. Many a times they do not have the basic ID cards also. They do not have Aadhaar cards and all. That becomes difficulty. Only one person from a family or household can avail, right? Can avail.
When the family is one family, 2 brothers getting the same autism business, so one family
Right. Here they have talked about unmarried children. Means there can be married. After marriage, they are considered to be a separate family. So that way it is good, right? So this is another eligibility. Apart from this, a person employed in any government service and the family members of that person cannot avail of the benefits of this scheme. This includes husband and wife and their unmarried children living in the family. Means a person who is working in government service, he himself cannot get it and his family members cannot get it. Generally, let's say there are people who are from group D services, group C services. Group D means people who are cleaning in government offices. So since they are part of government employee, their family members will not be eligible. Okay. So government employees and their family members are not eligible. Their family members are not eligible for this scheme. So these are the eligibility criteria for this scheme. It is, let's say, easy also, but you need to give a single reading so that you understand. Any person, any worker working in those 18 recognized trades, they can apply for it. They should be self-employed. They should be working with hand and tools. They should be working in unorganized sector. So they should be employed in these 18 traditional things. So they are eligible. So the person who wants to get training, he should be at least of 18 years of age. There are exclusion criteria if their family member, any of the family member, let's say if that person has availed any of loans in the last 5 years, he will not be eligible for it. After completion of 5 years, only then let's say he will be eligible. Now there is one issue also associated with it. What issue? Let's say a person has got a loan under Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program. Let's say in the year of maybe 2018. He got the loan in 2018, but he has to repay also. Let's say repayment has not happened yet. Do they consider the date of availing the loan or date of completion of the loan? It is not clear. Means repayment. So you have availed the loan, then so do they consider when did you take the loan or when did you pay off the loan completely? That's the thing. It is not clear. So exclusion criteria is there. Only one person from a family member can apply for loan. Let's say for this benefit. Government employees and their family members are not eligible for this scheme. So this is eligibility criteria as part of this scheme. So if we talk about what are the significance of this particular scheme, let's discuss about the significance. Many a times a topic that remains in news, an important topic, they may directly ask in the mains exam or in the prelims exam. If in mains they ask a question, maybe a 10-marker question may be asked. In paper 3, GS paper 3, which is Indian economy, it can be asked as part of GS paper 2 as social justice. It can be asked in GS paper 1 as well. So they can ask anywhere, right? So what are the significance of this scheme? Number 1 is preservation of heritage and culture or cultural heritage. Okay, preservation of cultural heritage. How? Basically, those people who are employed in pottery making, those people who are cobbler, so they do have a cultural heritage, right? They are following a certain kind of culture. So Government of India wants to preserve that. So this is one of the significance of this scheme. Second is economic empowerment. Okay, economic empowerment of artisans. This is also an important thing, important point. Like it is not empowering them so much, but somehow it may give some support to these people. This is the thing. Then we have, let's say, another integration into the formal economy. What? They will be integration into the formal economy. How? Because as we discussed as part of this particular scheme, right, as part of this scheme, they said you can avail the first loan after the first training, basic training. If you want to avail the further loan, you need to go for advanced training, or means like, there should be eligibility related to that all the transaction that you are doing, it should be in digital format. So if transaction is being done in digital format, it will lead to a kind of formalization, okay, because like all the transaction will be recorded in their bank account details, so some kind of formalization will be there. Then promoting sustainable practices. Okay, so Government of India promotes sustainable practices related to this thing. Sustainable practices. Okay, Government of India promotes sustainable practices through this scheme. Enhancing social standing. How social standing is enhanced? Basically, these people are recognized by the government. They get certificate for it. Okay, so earlier, let's say like those people who acquire regular schooling or college, so they get certificates for it, and like they become part of the mainstream economy. Similarly, these people, although they are not attaining the education in the formal way, but through this particular training, they are getting at least a certificate, at least a recognition. So it is enhancing their social standing. Okay, it will help in enhancing social standing of these people, right? This is the thing. The next is creating employment opportunities, fostering entrepreneurship. Okay, so what it does, it fosters entrepreneurship. It fosters entrepreneurship. So these are the things that are, let's say, significance of this particular scheme. This is how this scheme is going to benefit people. Okay, what can be the challenges as part of this scheme? We are quickly going to understand about the challenges that are associated with this scheme. Challenges, quickly. Yes, so let us discuss about the challenge. Number one challenge is, so these people are getting, let's say like these people are getting credit. So the credit that these people are getting, so if these people are not able to repay, so they will be under debt. Okay, they will be under debt. So the debt burden among these families will go up. Debt burden will increase. Debt burden will increase means if they are not repaying, so in future, if they think of availing some other government scheme, etc., they will be facing difficulty. This is one part. Other part is that these people are not able to make enough money out of the business that they are doing. Means like whatever business they are employed in, they are doing, they are generating very small amount of money. So this particular scheme is not increasing the overall, let's say, benefit thing. Although it helps in marketing, right? It helps in, let's say, like marketing related activities, but the root cause, right? Root cause is not being addressed. So over here it says that the government expects 5 lakh families. Basically, like government wants to provide benefit to 5 lakh families in the first year and 30 lakh families from this scheme in 5 years. But the scheme can help craftsperson and artisans only to the extent of freeing them from the difficulties they now face in accessing affordable credit from the formal banking system. Means like, as of now, let's say they are facing some kind of debt problem, some kind of financial burden, they can take the credit, they can take the loan, and they will be, let's say, like, able to repay to the other person. But like, they will be under debt trap. That's a one problem. Its support extended to struggling artisan communities and could come up with its own risk in the way of unintended consequences. There can be other risk also. The lack of access to formal credit may simply be a symptom rather than cause of underlying problem these communities face. These communities may be facing many problems, right? So the underlying problems are not being addressed, okay? Underlying problems that these communities are facing, they go unaddressed, okay? They go unaddressed. Only formal way of getting credit, and this credit is so small, 1 lakh rupees for the entire family, one person, I mean from a family, only one person can avail 1 lakh of loan. So that 1 lakh will be wiped out in no time, right? So that's the thing. So it is not addressing the underlying problem, okay? Underlying problem goes unaddressed. That is what is one of the problem.
So for this challenge, can we say that we have failed to create the market for their product? Like as for example, if we take the example of the one, so instead of buying the diyas that those are made of plastic and those are imported from China, we can create the marketplace for their product, like the one made of soil and all.
Basically, like this particular scheme also talks about, creating melas or haat. You might have heard about it. Okay?
So like
They will organize melas, they will organize haats, so that like different people who are practicing these professions, they can come together, they can sell their things in those melas. And if there is a mela, nearby people will get to know about it, they are going to visit. So it is going to let's say support them in marketing their goods, but like it's not going to benefit that much. So the thing is, one important component of this scheme is helping them in marketing their goods, helping them in, let's say, like creating bridge so that their goods can also be sold digitally. Government of India already has a portal. I think like I forgot the name of the portal. So that portal is going to bring together all the suppliers of good at one place, the way that Amazon does. Even Amazon itself can be listed over there in that platform. Okay, so Government of India wants to, let's say, integrate them so that these people can also sell their good through online mechanism. Although they may not be having the mobile phone, smart things and all, but at least one of the family member may be having a mobile phone, normal mobile phone, so that they can get a call, like we have got this order, so you can get it, let's say, like get it posted. So marketing support is there.
Small point, like the government can give them patronage by banning the plastic cups and all instead of that.
Yes. As of now, no patronage support is there to these people. Okay, no patronage support is there. No patronage support is there to these people, right? So Government of India can provide patronage to them by, let's say, phasing out the plastic made diyas and other things. Plastic is anyhow harmful. Although, like the Government of India has created legislations to ban certain kind of plastics that are thin. I mean, like so certain variant of plastics have been phased out. Yeah, means like there are different criteria for it, that like this plastic will not be sold, like that wo handmade plastic wo roka hua tha, but still like it is available in the market. I mean, like if you go to purchase a vegetable, which I go, so like I get it. So that's the thing. So there are many problems that are there, many challenges are still there. It's not going to help them in a big way. Means like it is kind of dropping some coins in an ocean, which will be invisible. It's like that. Today, I read an article in the Hindu newspaper that talked about Government of India, the Pradhan Mantri has extended the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana for 5 years. So under that, 5 kg of ration will be provided to the eligible beneficiaries of National Food Security Act per month, 5 kg of rice. They have extended it for 5 years. How many people are beneficiary? 80 crore people. Means in India, if we have 1,30,000 crore or 40 crore people, so 80 crore people are beneficiary under it. Means 80 crore people are below poverty line in India. Huge number of population. There was a report, Oxfam report, that talks about that 1% of Indians have, let's say 41% of wealth of the nation. 1% Indians, 41% wealth. And 50% of Indians only have 3% of wealth. Like that. So are we seeing the disparity? And when we talk about the GST, goods and services tax that people pay, like about 50% of people in India pay roughly 64% of the indirect GST. The rich people, right, 10% topmost people pay only 3% of GST. So means in that article, these data were mentioned. So that article simply said that if India wants to become a $5 trillion economy. So who is this economy meant for? This economy is generally meant for those people who are haves, those people who have huge amount of money with them. What will happen to those people who are uneducated, who are working in these sectors? They are not going to benefit, because the emerging sectors of economy that talks about artificial intelligence, machine learning, data, data analytics, or maybe there are different areas that are emerging, but these areas will be harnessed by those people who are already rich enough, affluent people who belong to affluent family.
So if we look at data and from a different perspective, like as you said that very few people from the richer section are paying the GST. So because since their amount is minuscule if we compare to the general population, like the bottom 50 or the bottom 80% of the people, we can say, or 90%. So obviously it is levied equally on every product. It is not a progressive tax. So it will be certainly less for them. So what's the significance of this data? I didn't understand that.
In that data, basically they wanted to make a classification of very rich people and poor people and middle class people. Basically very rich people are the ones who are earning very huge amount of money. They are controlling huge amount of resource of the country. Very poor people means they are very much marginalized. They are dependent on certain kind of government schemes, even if they are helpful. So somehow they are able to, let's say sustain the thing. The middle class people who are part of the tax bracket, they are paying tax also, they are earning little less. So basically they want to compare this data with $5 trillion economy, that India wants to become a $5 trillion economy. We want to reach to the next notch. I think we are at the 4th stage now, 4th largest economy. We want to become the 3rd largest, I think. As of now, US is the top one, then we have China, 3rd is Japan, 4th Germany. So but there are different ways of calculation of GDP. So this is per capita, if we calculate by per capita, so that's how they talked about in this article. But actually this talks about some kind of this thing. So here we are talking about those people who do not have financial inclusion. Maybe there are many families who do not have a bank account with them. They might not be having Aadhaar card. So Aadhaar card thing has been so much worked by the government that most of the people does have access to Aadhaar card. Okay. So now let us understand how does this scheme address the issue of social justice. Okay. How does this scheme address the issue of social justice? So what do we mean by social justice? Yes. So when we talk about social justice, basically when we there is a concept which is known as socialism. Socialism means socialist economy, where the, let's say economic resources are distributed equitably among people, right? So there is kind of inclusive growth. So when we talk about social justice, so we are essentially talking about inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means growth should not happen only for few people. It should happen for the masses. Second thing is we are talking about a kind of socialistic, let's say like approach to economy, kind of socialistic approach to economy. When we read the preamble of the Constitution of India, in the preamble there is a word which is justice, social, economic and political, right? We talk about social, economic and political. Social justice means like people get recognition in the society the way that other people, means like there should not be treatment of second class, third class citizens and first class citizens. Presently it does happen in practice. I mean, like if there is a very influential person, if he goes to a government office, he will be warmly received by the let's say like that officer. If at the same time there is a person who is from the lower let's say class, right? Lower class means like less have person, he may not be, let's say like able to meet the official that way. So that treatment is there. So when we talk about social justice, the I mean like kind of this thing may not be able to achieve that much, but little bit benefit may be provided by this scheme, right? So this is the thing. So it says the scheme's emphasis on various professions suggests a commitment to skill development, empowering artisans and craftsmen economically and socially. This includes growth approach targeting all artisans irrespective of caste or religion, indicates a holistic approach to improve social services and economic conditions. And it is also gender sensitive. Okay, so in this article they have said it is gender, right? It is gender sensitive. Sensitive means like it is gender neutral, I would say, right? Gender neutral. I mean, women can achieve, women can go for skilling, they can go for, let's say, taking loan. Even man can go for skilling and take the loan. So it is gender neutral. So anyone from the family household can go for getting benefit under this particular scheme. So the introduction of new identity card, which is Vishwakarma Sathi, and the issuance of certificate contribute to a sense of community and identity among artisans, fostering a social cohesion. Okay, so here they say, they talk about ID cards. ID cards means the Vishwakarma card. Vishwakarma card. So it will bring a kind of social cohesion among people. So maybe once a particular member from a family gets the Vishwakarma card, he's going to talk with the other family members that this is my card. Maybe like they may talk to other families, right? So that will bring a kind of social cohesion. So this is the thing. So what should be the way forward? Way forward are so many things. Now we are going to discuss about way forward quickly. Number one, whatever the government of India has outlined, okay, whatever we have planned, right, whatever goals are there of this particular scheme, these goals should foster towards implementation, right? This goal should move towards implementation so that we should be result oriented. Second thing, like bureaucratic hurdles. Bureaucratic hurdles that may be there, right, as part of availing loan, or maybe like if people want to avail loan, they may have to furnish this certificate, that certificate. So those norms should be minimized. Bureaucratic hurdles should be eliminated, right? This should be eliminated. So that will be one of the way forward. Other thing is, what I believe is restriction should be removed, like progressively. Maybe for the first time they have launched this scheme, maybe in future they may think of making this more accessible, so that like any family member, right, from a particular household, if they are above 18 years of age, they can go and get training, because every individual should be targeted, not only a member of a family should be targeted. Okay, so that can be another way forward for this scheme. So the scheme should emphasize individualized skill training programs that are specifically designed to cater to the needs and aspirations of different artisan communities. So as of now, there are many skill training institutions of the government of India, so they can go that way. Okay, so there can be many way forward so that we can talk about, right? So individualized skill training, individualized skill training must be provided, right, for each artisan community. That will be a way forward. So this is a good scheme, I would say. I mean, like, if there was no scheme, instead of it, we have come up with a scheme. It's going to benefit some sections of the society. So this is good in that spirit. But generally, I mean, like, when I hear the political speeches of leaders themselves say many a times कि मतलब कभी आपने देखा है कि ये स्कीम एक्चुअली मिलता है लोगों को. This should not be the thing. I mean, like, this scheme should be accessible to people. People should be able to get benefit of this scheme. If benefit actually reaches to the people, if people get, let's say, skill training, maybe the training may help them in some way. The certificate may help them, and especially the loan component. That is beneficial for people, but provided the loan may be accessible, there should be very less hurdles in availing the loans. That will be the thing.
Is this 18 sector people? Is that voluntary basis? Should they come forward to attend this, or the government will identify the beneficiary?
No. Over here, basically, government has told that people who are from these professions, they are beneficiary of this scheme. Government of India does have skill training centers in almost, let's say, all districts of the country. So through those centers, they are going to provide benefits. But the people have to come over there.
It's
Voluntary. Like, people have to come. And generally, like, since the scheme has been launched, Prime Minister himself made an announcement. People will get to know about it slowly and gradually. There will be, let's say, like, ways for people to reach, right? If, let's say, there is a village, people get to know that, like, we have to go there to avail this scheme. There are talks among members. There are talks among the family members, between family members. So slowly, gradually, they will reach. Okay. So this scheme is not that big, but, like, this scheme does have some positive things in it. So it is going to benefit.
So if we see this scheme from a broader perspective, like there are many schemes where government provide financial assistance in the form of credit, reach to the farmers and artisans and many other sections of the society. So the common problem is that they are not really aware of the schemes and they don't have any financial literacy to reach to the financial institutions to get the credit. So shouldn't there be a broader plan for making them financially literate? As for example, in the case of insurance, we are doing, right? There are many people working in the sector to generate awareness even among the rural areas. So on that line, shouldn't there be any many people educating mass about the financial literacy?
I understood your part. The question is good. Basically, like, long back, I would talk about my own experience. Long back, I mean, like, when I qualified my 12th standard. So nearby my house, there was an institute in Noida, right? They provide this kind of training. Basically, I have attended one training over there that was sponsored by DST, Department of Science and Technology. So when we, let's say, participated in that particular training, since it was sponsored by Department of Science and Technology, so we did not have to pay for that particular program, and that particular program was, let's say, it had a component related to skilling also, skill training, okay, and entrepreneurship. Okay, so it is, name of the institute is NISBUD, I would say, NIESBUD. So it does have its offices many places in India. So National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development. Okay, we participated over there. There were many people in that particular training, right, who are from India. There were many people from other countries also who participated the same program. In that program itself, let's say, like, every day there used to be training from morning till evening 5 p.m. Every 1 hour there used to be a different trainer, and everybody talked about a different thing. So as part of that scheme itself, they have discussed how to avail credit. Means, like, they have discussed, like, if you want to get credit, if you want to get loan, how to apply for loan, whom to reach, right? So after that particular training, basically they have invited, means, like, we have completed the training. After maybe 15 days, they have invited a bank. Okay, means like, people from bank, and those people came, and anyone who was interested in applying for loan, they could visit the same institute again, they could fill the form that is given, and through that form, like they can apply for the loan and they can interact with the business banking professionals. And as part of the trainers itself, there were people who were retired from banks. For example, from one director general, I think from SBI. So they were there. So they talk about, let's say, like, how to avail loan and whom to reach for loans, what will be the eligibility criteria for getting what kind of loan and all. So they generally discuss about it. Maybe as part of this scheme, right, when they are providing training, at like during the training, they will talk about how to apply for loan. Maybe they can organize a kind of, let's say, like, bank people come over there and organize that, like, on this particular day, you can come, you can apply for loan. So this happens. It is an institutional way of doing it.
Like there can be another way as well, like a portion of the outlay for this scheme can be earmarked for financial literacy. In a way, it will serve the dual purpose.
Yes,
Like
means
reaching the beneficiaries as well and creating the employment generation in the field of financial services.
yes. So this is a good suggestion. What he is saying, that like whatever outlay is there of this program, some portion of this outlay can be especially dedicated for reaching to the masses, for awareness generation, so that people know that this scheme exists, and once they participate in the scheme, they should be told that how to avail the loans. That will be there. So there is like, so many things I have attended. I went to like, IIT, like, IIT Indore once. So it was a program related to this, like, intellectual property rights and international economics, something like that, long back 2016 after graduation. So basically, like, we were attending a program of IPR. So there were professors from USA, from, let's say, South Korea. So they came and they have, let's say, like, written more than 700 papers, research papers, and they were into this particular thing, like, intellectual property rights. So they discussed with us a lot of things related to it. So generally, although the training program was of a shorter duration, I think, like, 7 days or 15 days, short duration training program, but that actually shapes your understanding, that how to go about different things, right? How to apply it. So this scheme, which is, let's say, like, dedicated for those people who are from, let's say, maybe, like, many of these people who are going to avail the benefits may not be educated much. But if they avail this training, maybe, like, they get more than what is intended as part of this scheme. It depends how the government of India is implementing this scheme. Implementation is very important. Right, so this is the thing. So like at the end of this ED also there are questions, and Akshita, I mean, like, although I have evaluated your copy, but I have not scanned and sent it. So maybe after the class today, I may share the evaluated copy of ED,
Okay, sir.
right? So like there are questions given at the end of it. Go through the question and write those questions. There are previous year questions also on the same, like similar topics. You can try them as well. Okay. After writing the answers, you can share it with me again. Jahidul at. Why I write email address every time? Because there are students who may be coming, who may be attending the class in a recorded format. So they might not be knowing which email to share. It's my name, Jahidul@lukmaanias.com. Just after writing your answer, you can share it to me again. So I'm going to evaluate. Start answer writing practice. That will help. Thank you so much for attending. Although the class was short, topic is good, and there is a possibility of a question in prelims. There is a possibility of a question in mains. It's a government scheme. Anyhow, all of us have to study government scheme as part of UPSC preparation, right? So that will be all. Any question for me? Online people, offline? So, all right. I think that will be all from my side. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's session.